In this video, I'm going to show you how to tell if a story represents a proportional relationship. Remember, in a proportional relationship, there's a constant ratio between the two variables. For example, if my variables are x and y, then when I do y divided by x, I always get the same number. We can call that number k. That's called the constant of proportionality. That's not super important right now, but let's look at our stories. First is the number of cars and the number of wheels. We're trying to figure out if this was proportional. One way that I like to think about it is using this concept. When it's a proportional relationship, then when one thing doubles, the other thing also doubles. Or when one thing triples, the other thing also triples. When one thing gets cut in half, the other thing also gets cut in half. So let's look at this situation. The number of cars and the number of wheels. Well, we know that here's a little drawing of a car. A car has 4 wheels. And if we double the number of cars, now we're at 8 wheels. If we tripled the number from 1 to now 3 cars, now we have 4 times 3, 12 wheels. So this is in fact proportional. I could also make a table to prove that. I'll do cars, number of, and number of wheels. We're assuming that each car has the same number of wheels, by the way. One car has 4, 2 cars, you would have 8, 3 cars would have 12, 4 would have 16. And you can tell pretty quickly that it is proportional because 4 divided by 1, I'll write it as fractions, I guess. 4 over 1 is equal to 8 over 2, which is equal to 12 over 3, which is equal to 16 over 4. All of these are equal to 4. Okay? Here's another example. Years passed and the human population. Let's think about our little trick. If one thing doubles, the other thing also doubles. Let's assume the year is 2023. Now let's think ahead to 2024. And let's say the human population is currently, I think it's around 8 billion. 1 year has passed. Well, now let's look ahead at 2025. This is 2 years. I want you to try to think to yourself, is the human population going to double when we get to 2025? Are we suddenly going to have 16 billion people? No, clearly that won't happen. Population doesn't act like that. And if you think, we can actually find a little graph of the human population over time. Human population over time. In the beginning of time, like in the very olden days, the human population, that's what happened to my old map. Well, I guess this map is fine too. You can see that the human population isn't changing by the same amount every year. It kind of fluctuates. It's not a straight line, so it's not proportional. You could also consider making a table of it, and you would also see it's not proportional. Okay. Finally, your exact age and your friend's exact age. Okay, let's assume your age is 12 and your friend's age is 13. You, friend. Let's look at next year. Next year you will be 13, they will be 14. In 20 years they'll be 23, you'll be 23, they'll be 24. And now we can figure out if this is proportional. We are trying to figure out, is 13 over 12 the same as 14 over 13? And is that the same as 24 over 23? We can use our calculator. Where'd my calculator go? Oh, there it is. Okay. 13 divided by 12 is 1.083 repeating. Okay. 14 over 13 is 1.07692, etc. So already right away I know this is not proportional. That's how you can tell from a story. You can either think of this little trick, when one thing doubles, will the other thing double? If the answer is yes, then it's proportional. Or you can try making a table, and you should know how to test from a table whether it's proportional.